Pillsbury intelligently builds direct relationships with families. Please welcome to the stage David Schey, SVP of Customer Experience Solutions on our Data Cloud team, and Erika Reed, Manager of Data Strategy in General Mills. From pets to parents and everyone in between, General Mills makes food the world loves. A portfolio of more than 100 iconic brands ranging from Betty Crocker to Cheerios to Pillsbury help bring joy to families everywhere. David Schey and Erika Reed are going to talk to us specifically about Pillsbury and the direct relationships we're building with consumers, leveraging a data-first approach. Excited to hear from you guys.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Right, and I'm excited to be here today talking to Erika about such an amazing topic. One of the things I was actually talking to Erika about yesterday was how CPG brands, and especially working with General Mills, how you have so many iconic brands that you work with. And you know you have an iconic brand when you can wear a t-shirt like that, which, by the way, just want to show this, where everyone knows, probably just about everyone in here grew up with and knows exactly who that character is. And how many people here are actually thinking about the noise that that character makes when you actually, exactly. That's how you know we'd have an iconic brand.
Yes, thank you, David.
So one of the things, one of the challenges specifically with CPG is, yes, you have many iconic brands that you're working with, but there are very specific challenges on how you can actually build direct customer relationships with actual individuals. Because for years, and historically, the challenge has always been that retailers will really own those relationships. How are you looking at it from your perspective and overall within General Mills about building those direct-to-customer relationships?
Yes, great question. So Pillsbury, as you all know, is one of America's most loved brands. We've been around for over 150 years. And of course, who can resist the Doughboy, whose name is Poppin' Fresh? I didn't know that, and I'm ashamed, but now I know. And his name is Poppin' Fresh. Millions and millions of Americans are enjoying crescents across the dinner table every single year. Oh, there's the Doughboy. Here we go. But what's hard? How do you build a direct relationship with a brand that's in your cart? You can't expect consumers to build one-to-one relationships with over 30 brands. That'd be obnoxious. Can you imagine getting like a text message from your egg brands? It just doesn't make sense. So it's really hard. And some of you may say, yeah, but you have Pillsbury. You have a well-known brand, so much brand love. It's probably easier for you. And that's true. We do have a lot of people who are interested in our brands. Millions and millions of people are visiting our sites on an annual basis. But the opportunity comes in that 75% of those people who are visiting our site are unknown to us. It's really hard to build a direct relationship with someone that you don't know. Dating rules apply here. So that was definitely the opportunity for us. How do you build a relationship with mom? And then how do you also build a relationship with grandma? Their needs are quite different. So we get started with getting to know these individuals.
Excellent. And it also, I think, creates a really exciting opportunity because we're finally in a place where technology, a lot of what we were talking about before with a lot of the great technology improvements that we've had around identification, around even changing customer expectations, where now I think there's an opportunity for a paradigm shift. And so we created what we called a Shopper Marketing Cloud solution, which kind of combines all of those together. So curious on kind of your thoughts of what have you liked so much about that solution? What have you liked so far? And where do you see that going?
Yeah, Zeta's identity resolution and data enrichment combined with the ability to create audiences to target to is pretty compelling. And it's exactly where we need to go in CPG. So for me, what does success look like? Well, in addition to the 2016 Denver Broncos, that's just a personal success right there. These are my areas of success. One would be accelerating the growth of first-party data. I think everybody in this room, especially with privacy concerns, is interested in that and might be your number one goal as well. Increasing the understanding of known and unknown users. That's just going to help us grow our first-party data. And then improving that messaging relevance to drive growth. If we can connect with these unknown consumers in a relevant way, it's going to bring us to be top of mind in that grocery store, but also leave them wanting more and having that relationship. It's a give and take.
That's great. And we actually started on a pilot to be able to grow and a lot of the goals that you have over there. So to be able to grow the customer database, to be able to use the insights and intelligence, to be able to identify those signals of when someone actually is in market so you can actually then target them. How are your feelings on how that pilot went, and how is that going to change how you look at media to be able to achieve those goals that you have back there?
Yeah, we did start a pilot, and it was pretty awesome in that we got to improved performance through the real-time scoring. So that's called intelligent retargeting. It's understanding the behaviors of these people who are coming to the site and sort of ranking them and saying, ooh, this person looks like somebody who has signed up in the past. We're going to pay more for them because they're more interested and they're more valuable to the brand. So that was awesome. Video wins the day. I think we all know this, but sometimes it takes proof to get more dollars to be put towards video budgets. So that was really important as well. And then additional personalization can decrease costs, similar to the point I made earlier.
Right, and one thing you mentioned before is just around the limited insights that you've had historically. So very curious around what are some of the insights that you've learned so far in being able to identify your customers better, being able to overlay some of these signals that have really changed the way of how you look at your customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So we took our known users and we sent them over to Zeta and said, tell us a little bit more about our known users, and also don't show them ads because, you know, we're trying to acquire new users. And what we found was really interesting. Pillsbury subscribers also like Christopher & Banks. 25% of our known users have transacted with Christopher & Banks. I think that tells you a lot right there. They're also really interested in Weight Watchers and have transacted with Weight Watchers. Where this is interesting is we have another brand called Fiber One at General Mills, and they're currently partnering with Weight Watchers. Who knew that the Pillsbury audience might actually be interested in their campaign? So there was some efficiencies gained there through that audience. And then also quick service restaurants. So what was really, really mind-blowing, I think, for other individuals was that we don't have a ton of millennial moms, actually. We got a lot of older women with no kids in household. So that was very insightful.
So let's dive into insights a little bit more. So I'm sure you had some hypotheses that were, you know, throughout General Mills and specifically within Pillsbury around what you perceived your customers to be. And what were some of the behaviors, or what were some of those interests? Are there any kind of shattering insights that really changed those perceptions?
Yes, another great question. So the brand side of the business is really interested in going after millennial moms, which again, I think is where a lot of you are probably focused as well. But when I joined General Mills a couple of years ago, and I'm a millennial mom and I had never been to the site, I had my suspicions, but I am just a sample size of one. So what we found here was, yes, it was a lot of older individuals, older females, no kids in household. And why that's really important is because a lot of our budget for advertising was going towards millennial mom content, which just wasn't landing with our known consumers. And so what we have to do to get closer to a one-to-one level is truly understand who you are and develop that content so it is relevant, so we can continue to drive that conversion.
That's incredible, and I think that's where it presents so much of an opportunity for CPG brands in general going forward. So what are some of kind of your predictions, or what do you see, where do you see the future of CPG going, and insights, and how that can actually help build better relationships with customers?
Yeah, so some of the biggest things for CPG, first of all, loyalty in CPG is hard. I have a lot of experience driving loyalty for other programs, and CPG is just hard. So measurement is critical. Understanding where you're acquiring these new known users, how you're measuring how much they're engaging with your brand, and then you can sort of develop a CLV model off of that to understand where should I put my dollars, where is it most efficient. So measurement is key. Identity resolution, obviously, to everything that I just talked about, is so important. It's so important to know your consumers, but not in a creepy way, as it has been mentioned earlier, but in a relevant way, ways that we can solve problems and deliver joy for our consumers. Speed to insights. The point with CRM and like driving all of these different segments and it taking 5 different people, let's just activate quickly. The consumer is changing quickly, so we should be able to react to that as well. And then media should not be looked at in isolation. So yes, historically, when we've acquired somebody, we've said that is where we're capturing value, but that's not where value starts. So being able to see a full picture of a consumer from the time that they first see an ad to the time that they purchase you in store and all those moments in between is really important.
Absolutely. And I think there are a lot of applications even beyond CPG for a lot of these different insights, because I think CPG can really lead the way in how you can actually leverage the intelligence to build those customer relationships. But I'm very curious on where do you see it going forward, and what are some of the insights, what are some of the opportunities that you're most excited about?
Yeah, there's a ton of opportunity. And similar to the lineup of the 2022 Broncos, the opportunity lies in doing this with our other brands and understanding where we could find some insights when we do crossover. When we take a look at Betty Crocker's database, is that going to look similar to what Pillsbury's database is? What are some other things that we can gain? What kind of other insights can we gain? And I'm really excited to continue to partner with Zeta on this.
Thank you very much. And just want to thank you so much for kind of your participation here today, but just in general, because I think to me, as being the insights guy that a lot of people introduce me as, but just also as being, from a data perspective, we're in a unique time where we have so much opportunity to be able to understand people as individuals and treat them as individuals. And that's really what we're trying to do here. And really have a paradigm shift about how brands can help market to those individuals based upon those signals and insights that we have. So thank you again. And any parting words that you have around next steps?
Yeah, I think you mentioned CPG leading the space. I honestly don't know if I've ever heard that, so I'm just so excited to be here and really disrupting the industry with the data that we have available. So it's pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.